But if a man is getting an erection and then losing it, he's getting blood in, the PD5 medications, which are Viagra and Cialis being the big ones, they help a little bit. They put some a little bit more blood in, but they don't keep it there. And the primary therapy should be directed at keeping blood in the penis, and only rings will do that. If you had told me 4 years ago, Jonathan, that, hey, Elliot, you're going to be talking about erection rings for the next 4 years, I would have said, like most guys, that's interesting, but I don't need it. I'm good. But the reality is, I'm not good. I can be better. And men, women have vibrators and hormones.
Yes.
And men have nothing. But now they do. Because now men, I mean, we've documented 236,000 erections and 4,000 men. The research clearly shows that all men, not just men with ED, but all men benefit from a ring and a pill. Pills pull more blood in, the rings keep it there.
Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Marks from GoToHealth. I hope you're having a great day. We really have a fun topic for you today, and that's all about sex. We're going to learn about sex and maintaining a healthy sex life, especially as we age. Among men, there's a big problem of erectile dysfunction. There's lots of drugs out on the market, but those drugs don't necessarily solve the full problem. And the part of the problem that has remained unsolved has been blood flow and maintaining blood flow within the penis during erection. There are now new products on the market which help maintain men's erections and also measure the health of your erections so you know what your circulatory health is like. There are also upcoming products for women's health too, which you'll learn about, so stay tuned. We're talking with Dr. Elliot Justin, MD, an emergency medicine specialist and healthcare technology consultant in erectile neuromodulation, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. If you want to learn more, you can go to myfirmtech.com/go-to-health, and you'll enjoy a 15% discount if you decide to buy any of the products, which I highly recommend. Subscribe to us, please, on our website, YouTube, or Apple or Spotify, wherever you're listening to us. And if you like our content, please share it with others, and more people can find out about it when you give us a thumbs up or a 5-star review. Thanks in advance for doing that. So welcome to the show, Dr. Elliot Justin. How are you today?
Excellent.
Good. So, Dr. Justin, you've spent 25 years in the ER dealing with life and death emergencies, but now you've focused on the bedroom. Why do you call the penis the canary in the coal mine for a man's heart? And why should a failing erection be treated with the same urgency as chest pain?
That's a great question. Well, 4 years ago, I was unaware of this. I spent many, many years in emergency medicine, and short of a heart attack or a stroke, there are a few emergencies that concern a man as much as they consistently lip penis. I think a man who's been implanted a few times in a row probably shouldn't be allowed to drive a car. We men are only about as good as our last 2 or 3 erections. But about 4 years ago, a urologist asked me to come up with a way of counting the number of nocturnal erections a man have. By background, just emergency medicine, I'm also a sensor technology expert. And when he told me about not wanting to count nocturnal erections, my reaction was, to use a contemporary phrase, WTF. I mean, why do we care? Why should we care about nocturnal erections? We know about morning wood and we laugh about it, but what's the significance of nocturnals? And he told me, well, we urologists and cardiologists call the penis the canary in the coal mine of cardiovascular disease. Well, that took me aback because we don't have a lot of leading indicators in healthcare. We treat associations and often overtreat them. So high blood pressure associated with stroke, elevated lipoproteins associated with atherosclerosis. But they're not predictive unless they're really extreme. So if my blood pressure goes from 120 to I'm making it 140, it's not predicting anything. It's just a signal. Now, if it goes from 120 to 240, that's a different question.
Right.
So he told me and showed me papers that if the number of nocturnal erections that a man has, and a healthy man should be having 3 to 5 per night of a certain duration and firmness, but that number comes down by 50%, that man has a close to 50% chance of having a cardiovascular problem in the next 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Well, that's significant.
Yeah.
So, and if there was any vital sign that would motivate a man to pay more attention to his health and his diet and his weight, et cetera, it would be something that involves sexuality, as opposed to, there's some fluctuation in my weight or some fluctuation in my blood pressure.
Yep.
So that intrigued me. And so that was about 4 years ago. And that led to what we're currently doing right now, which is we have a device called a tech ring that is the world's first monitor of the health of the penis. And worn overnight, it will count the number of nocturnal erections, measure their duration and firmness. And worn during sex, it will measure duration and firmness. It also helps with sexual performance. But the data is profoundly valuable because with this data, men can say, gee, my sexual health is good and my cardiac health is good. Or on the other side, it's bad and I need to do something about it. So we've had 3 men that we're aware of get cardiac catheterizations because they had terrible nocturnal erections. On the other side of it, we've had 4 men now who are going to get penile implants whose nocturnal erections were good. So their problem was in their head and not in their body.
Wow.
So there are 2 organs that doctors feel are most sensitive to changes in blood flow. That's because the arteries that provide with what they need in order to function are quite small. There's the retina, and it's very difficult to get a retinogram. And then there's your penis, and your penis then becomes a way of measuring your cardiovascular and sexual health.
Interesting. Amazing. So let's talk about erections in general, because I want men to understand this and women too. Let's talk about how erections happen and how they deflate afterwards. Let's talk about that.
Sure. Well, in general, people require some stimulation to get an erection. So in order to have an erection, a man has to get blood into his penis and then keep the blood in the penis. And the emphasis is on getting blood in. What's been overlooked by doctors is keeping blood in.
Mm-hmm.
So healthcare tends to go, unfortunately, where we know how to test things, but also where the money is. So we got the heart. It's a pump, and you can think about this like plumbing. We got a pump, and if the pump's not working well, whether because the man has angina, has had a heart attack, has congestive heart failure, has myocarditis, some condition, the pump's not working well.
Mm-hmm.
That's one problem. Then there are the pipes that come out of the penis, which are the arteries, and then they can get narrowed. They can narrow due to hypertension, atherosclerosis, diabetes, some other conditions, but those are the big 3.
Mm-hmm.
And these are men who struggle to get an erection or can't get an erection at all. That's only about 12, 13% of men, though.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of men get an erection, and then the erection fades. And that could be multifactorial. But at the most basic physical level, the veins, the smooth muscles around the veins of the penis are no longer strong enough to keep blood in. Mm-hmm. And also the veins, we're not talking about little veins called venules, they're getting stiff with calcifications. And that happens to all of us. It happens elsewhere in the body as well, too. Jonathan, you look like a younger man than me, but I'm 73 years old. And if I get on a plane and fly some distance, like I fly to Europe from here, Montana, and I'm sitting on a plane for 12 hours, my socks get a little bit tight. Mm-hmm. My rings get a little bit tight. And that didn't happen when I was 25 years old. So what's going on? Well, the smooth muscle that squeezes the veins and pumps the blood back to my heart is not working as well. The little veins are getting stiff, and then result is a little bit of swelling in my ankles and in my fingers. Mm-hmm. What's going on in the penis is the same. We have smooth muscles and veins that aren't functioning as well as effectively as they did when we were 12 years old or 20 years old or 25 years old.
Right.
So all men get venous leak, so to speak, as we say in medicine, as they get older. I prefer to call it the fading erection of aging. Why? Because we have medicalized and stigmatized something that is, for most men, is just a problem. So let's talk about ED, the definition of ED.
Yes, I was going to go right there. Go ahead. Let's talk.
Okay, so this is the International Society for Sexual Medicine talking about ED. And we kind of talked a little bit about the problem with the heart before, heart and the arteries.
Yeah. First
clause, inability to get an erection, consistent difficulty getting an erection. And I don't mean just got drunk once or twice. I mean that this is a consistent problem. Well, these men aren't getting enough blood in the penis to get an erection. Mm-hmm. And if anyone listens to this, knows someone who has this problem, they need to see a doctor. They have far more likely than not, they have a significant cardiovascular or metabolic disorder that they need to be taken care of. And that's about 12 to 13% of men. So the academic doctors who set the standards in healthcare, they tend to see the sickest people. And then they project from those people onto the general population. So bear in mind, so what does that mean? That means that guys with ED should get a cardiac workup. Is your heart pump working well? Your arteries working well? We got lots of tests for those things. But the second part of the clause is difficulty sustaining erection. Well, that's every man as we get older. Our blood leaves the penis faster. Now, this could be multifactorial. Obviously, confidence issues enter into it. But if the blood leaves the penis faster, what comes first? That or the confidence issue? The two interact.
Sure.
There's psychological issues. Hey, maybe you're worried about paying the mortgage. Maybe you're tired, or maybe you shouldn't have that third cocktail, Elliot. Or maybe actually staying up dancing till 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not going to work for your penis, not going to work for your erections that night. And then there are medications that we doctors prescribe without even warning people about the sexual side effects. And these are blood pressure medications and the SSRI antidepressant class. There are certain flow medications for bladder problems. And often we get these medications in combination, they're synergistic, and they make it hard to sustain an erection. But if a man is getting an erection and then losing it, he's getting blood in, the PD5 medications, which are Viagra and Cialis being the big ones, they help a little bit. They put some a little bit more blood in, but they don't keep it there. And the primary therapy should be directed at keeping blood in the penis, and only rings will do that. If you had told me 4 years ago, Jonathan, that, hey, Elliot, you're going to be talking about erection rings for the next 4 years, I would have said, like most guys, that's interesting, but I don't need it. I'm good. But the reality is, I'm not good. I can be better. And men, women have vibrators and hormones.
Yes.
And men have nothing. But now they do. Because now men, I mean, we've documented 236,000 erections and 4,000 men. The research clearly shows that all men, not just men with ED, but all men benefit from a ring and a pill. Pills pull more blood in, the rings keep it there.
So a ring, when you say a ring, let's talk about what a ring is. And if you have some there, let's show it.
Yeah, well, this is your old style ring. This is what you see in sex toy stores.
This is called a cock ring, right?
Cock ring. It's a hard silicone ring.
Yep. In
order for it to be, they pinch, they're uncomfortable. If you have diabetes, hypertension, they're not safe because they cut off the circulation. For them to be most effective, a man has to have a full erection. Then you slide this thing down the shaft of your penis. It's like a rubber band. Snap it in place. And essentially, you're lynching your penis. You are strangling it. And
oh my God.
You know who wants to do that? So they've never really caught on. And I got involved in the ring. To me, was sort of secondary. I got involved with the data. Remember, I'm being challenged by urologists to come up with a way of counting nocturnal erections because they're the indicator of men's cardiovascular and sexual health. But in order to do that, I had to reinvent the erection ring because I had to come up with a ring form and material that could be worn overnight, not allow the arterial blood to flow in, count erections. So our rings, I'll take one here. This is how it sits, but this is our rings. This is stiff silicone.
Yep.
This is stretchy, soft elastomer.
Got it.
And by the way, if you're bigger than this, no one wants to have sex with you. But this is spongy and soft. It allows arterial blood to flow in. If you're fully erect, it will constrain the venous return, kind of like plugging up a sink, 75%. And so we are the only erection rings that have been demonstrated to be safe for prolonged usage. There have been 2 papers about this. One's been published, thousands and thousands of uses without any complications whatsoever. No priapism, no rashes, nothing.
Right.
And then I realized that I'd solved this problem, which is that instead of being made out of silicone, by making it out of elastomer, I got something comfortable and will optimize all men's performance. Women have vibrators and hormones, and men now have something, and that something is a ring that will optimize their performance. And I didn't understand this 4 years ago. I was like most guys, I'm good. I don't need anything. Doesn't need male pride. And now there are 2 studies demonstrating that our ring is as effective and many men more effective than 10 milligrams to tadalafil, Cialis, the common prescribed pill. Although both together are most effective. Here's the data. Researchers did a study of D2-mesins. And been studied before, by the way. Think about this. Sex is so important to people. Never been studied before. D2-mesins is the time it takes for an erection to go down after climax. With nothing, it's 25 to 35 seconds. With tadalafil, it's a little over 2 minutes. That's nice. With the ring alone, it's a little over 3 minutes. And with both together, it's over 4 minutes. And the takeaway for that for all men is, if you want to optimize your performance, put a ring on it and take a pill.
Put a ring on it. I like that. Great. So let me just go back and redefine this. So when we talk about erectile dysfunction, I mean, there's 2 parts to the erection. One is the blood coming in, and you're saying that's only a problem for about 13% of men. But as we age, you're saying most men will have trouble keeping the blood in the penis and will have trouble with an erection. So is that considered, as we age, is that considered ED, or is ED
that's
still
what they call ED? But I'm at war with that term.
Okay.
It leads guys being too ashamed to even seek medical care. What do guys do? They go online to get pills. Guys don't talk about ED with their friends. They don't want to talk about it with doctors. They didn't want to talk about it with their wives or their girlfriends or the boyfriends.
Right.
They just pop. They think, oh, I'll pop a pill. The doctors have been indoctrinated to think, well, got ED, take a pill. Pharma, of course, wants us to think that way.
Yes.
And meanwhile, these pills are being prescribed without any data. And there's a Dr. Mohit Khera. He's a very famous andrologist, urologist at Baylor University. I know the famous andrologists in the world. And he says Viagra is Vicodin. Now, what does he mean by that? And by the way, he's not opposed to its use. He just thinks that what doctors are doing is wrong. We just pass out pills like it's gum, like it's chiclets, and we don't know what the right dose is. Look, Jonathan, if you were a patient of mine and you came to me and said, "Hey, Elliot, when I go to the gym, my pulse is irregular and I feel faint," and I said to you, "Jonathan, that's interesting. Take this pill and come back in 6 months."
Right.
You would think, what the heck is this, 1900? Are you going to get an electrocardiogram? Going to get an echo? Going to get some blood tests? But that's how we treat men's sexual health. We just throw a pill at it. But the sexual health is a critical indicator of their cardiovascular health. That's why Viagra is Vicodin, especially for older men, because you could be masking a very significant problem. Now, when I said before that 12 to 30% of men have a significant problem, that's why you want the data. If you're one of those guys, you want to get an early signal.
Right.
But if on the other hand, if your data is good, then a ring is an effective first-line therapy without taking a pill.
Right. And I'll distinguish, if you don't mind, a cock ring, which is that hard plastic or hard whatever it is, versus what I would call yours, which is like a medical grade material.
It is a medical grade material, and I prefer to call it an erection ring because that's what it's doing. It's either giving you data about your erections or it's helping you to sustain your erections.
Got it. So it's really helping keep the blood in the penis while you're stimulated and while you're having sex.
Here's another problem with ED for most men. Jonathan, I'm going to ask how old you are, but do you run as fast now as you did when you were 20 years old?
No, I do not.
Jonathan, you have a bad case of RD, running dysfunction, and we can help you. And I have a CPT code, and I have I got this pill that'll make you run 10% faster. And if you do my patented exercise program, you can run 15% faster. You need to take care of your RD before it gets worse. But that's what we've done with ED. There are men, as I said, 12, 15%, probably somewhere in that range, who have a significant problem, and they need the care of a physician. But for the vast majority of men, we've medicalized something that's actually normal. We don't tell women anymore, hey, you're frigid. No, we tell a postmenopausal woman, for example, hey, get a vibrator and take some hormones. And we should not be stigmatizing men with ED. We stigmatize men a lot. We got ED, we got toxic masculinity, we got porn addiction, we have the death grip. It's really terrible what we do to men.
Interesting. So you have two forms of this ring. One is just the plain ring that people can buy, but people can also buy one that's more technically oriented and measures erections. And it measures it. I guess you have an app that goes on the phone that actually gives you the feedback about the number of erections and the quality. Tell us about the app and what happens there.
Sure. We're in the Google and Apple stores. You download the app and you get, as with any like with Aura or Whoop or Strava or any of these wearables, we provide you with your number of nocturnals, their duration, their firmness, the firmness and duration of sex erections. We make recommendations. It could be, hey, Elliot, since you started on pill X, your erections are 30% less firm. You need to meet with your doctor, discuss whether, change the dosage. Or it could be, hey, Elliot, what's changed in your life? You're having 4 times as much sex as you did, in the last month. Whatever it is that's working for you, keep it up, man.
Right. Or if it's somehow going down, is there maybe stress or anxiety in your life that you should be taking a look at?
Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly.
Okay. And is this information, I mean, some medical apps, you can share it with your doctor automatically? Is that?
Yeah, there are over 100 doctors right now with whom you can share your app. Everyone owns their data. That's the way it is in the United States.
Yes.
You own your data, and you can, and in your account page in the app, you can put in your doctor's code, and your doctor gets the information.
Got it. So you've documented over 200,000 erections. Is there some kind of data or conclusions you've drawn from any of this erection data? What have you found? What have you learned?
Well, one thing in the app, our data set, it's like 4,600 men last time I looked. The data set is most robust, bigger for men between the ages of 35 and 65. We have a few people over 80. We have few people in their 20s, but we compare you to every man in our app database, every man 5 years older and 5 years younger.
Oh,
And then
right.
you can say, well, gee, am I average, below average, above average? And of course, we all want to be above average.
Right.
And if you're below average, then that leads to the questions of, well, why? Is it
Yes.
smoking? Is your blood pressure? Is your diabetes? Is it medications? Is it relationship? So that's how that's how the app is being utilized by men and by doctors.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you also have, don't you have a tool for women with, it's like a vibrator
We
that can
do.
go along with the sex ring? Tell us
Yeah,
about
we
that.
have. This is called the Rain Maid. It's actually invented by my wife. And the goal was a vibrator for hands-free penetrative sex. By the way, we used to call this intercourse. They changed to penetrative sex. I don't know why they did that, but this because the open loops, it slides often on the ring. It sits there. The vibrator is in the right place anatomically for the clitoris. One of the problem with most vibrating cock rings by companies like Lilo or Dame or Weavot is they're not anchored. The men's part is not anchored on the balls. Ours is anchored on the balls. Ours cannot rotate around the shaft of the penis. The problem with these other devices, they weren't thinking about the male anatomy. And the devices rotate. Next thing you know, you're vibrating your wife's thigh, which is kind of silly. So this also slides off the rings, functions as a finger vibrator, and obviously there are advantages to men and women of getting to the right spot with something that small.
Now, does she have remote control over the rate of the vibrator? Or does she have a phone app, or how does she control it?
We didn't go with a phone app because I'm trying to get the phone out of the bedroom.
Yeah, right. Good.
I don't. We joked about this, and we sold several thousands. We joked about this. You don't want to give women the temptation even to look at a phone during sex. So next thing you know,
Right.
there's some text message from your son or from something. It's got to be answered right away. So we just went. It's 3 speeds, and the motor is very, very quiet.
And she sets that beforehand and it stays that way, or does she have a remote control?
There's a button. There's a button right there on the side.
There's a button. Okay.
Yeah. So
she can change that.
She can change, or you can change it. So, but it also functions as a finger vibrator. But we're coming out with the world's first monitor for the health of the clitoris. This is the form.
Now, wait. So you're now moving into women's sexual health.
Correct.
Let's talk about this. What's this going to measure?
Yeah, I mean, think about one thing. Just think about this gap. We live in this incredible age of smart wearables for everything: watches, bands, all sorts of things, rings, and no one's thinking about sex. It's incredible, given how important sex is to people.
Right.
You think I can't believe that we're the first people doing it. Anyway, we want to come up. Women have nocturnal erections. No one has studied them since Masters and Johnson. Our thesis is that they're just as significant in women as they are in men. There's no reason to believe they're not, and they might even be more significant. So we are measuring engorgement of the clitoris, blood flow into the clitoris, because it's going to be our thesis is that's the same as men as it is in women. You need blood in order to enjoy sex. And a lot of the medications we take, women take more medicines than men do. Women also take hormones that can interfere with their sexual health. They take antidepressants 4 to 5 times as much as men do. We want people to get signals, women too, as well as men, to get signals of problems before they really become problems about their vascular health.
Got it. So and what are you calling this female
Clitique.
tool?
Clitique.
Okay, clitique. Thank you for that. So the clitique can be a similar measure of health as the ring is for the man.
Yes.
Okay. And this will be hooked up to a phone app and be giving the woman feedback.
Phone app. Exactly.
Is this available yet, or when will it be available?
Right now we have the form factor, because we have to come up with a form that would not be expelled overnight and also would not be expelled during sex. That would also make sex better and be comfortable with both partners and make sex better. And we have a sensor. So right now, our engineers are working. They like to say struggling, but they're just working. I don't know why people dramatize things. They're working to get the sensor wires stable inside the silicone inside the mold. And they've been working on that about 2 weeks, and they haven't gotten it yet. But they'll figure it. It'll be figured out. And I anticipate that certainly by November, we will have research prototypes in the labs of the leading female sex rate researchers around the world, here and in Europe, and that by the first quarter of next year, so at this time next year, women will be able to buy this.
Good. Wonderful. That's amazing. So if this is of interest to you, let me tell you where you can go to learn more and buy these products. It's called Firm Tech. Surprise, Firm Tech. And we have a special discount for you if you're a GoToHealth listener. If you go to myfirmtech.com, myfirmtech.com/GoToHealth. myfirmtech.com/GoToHealth. You'll enjoy a 15% discount off of all the products there. And you can enjoy the tech ring, the performance ring, the ring mate vibrator for women, and soon, as we're talking about here, the Clatique when that comes on the market. Good. So again, that's myfirmtech.com/GoToHealth. So doctor, are there questions that I didn't ask that I should have, or is there a big message you'd like to leave with people today?
The big question is, why wouldn't you want to learn about your sexual health if you're a man? Men now have the opportunity to get smarter about their sexual and cardiovascular health by monitoring their erections, and they have the opportunity to get harder and optimize their performance by using erection rings.
Great. And again, that erection ring keeps the blood in the penis so it maintains the erection. And that's been the big problem that men have, particularly as we age, is keeping the blood in there. So that's
Exactly.
the solution. That's the problem you're fixing with your solution.
It was surprisingly easy.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Thank
Good. We've been talking with Dr. Elliot Justin, MD. He's an emergency medicine specialist, and he's a healthcare technology consultant in erectile neuromodulation, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. He's documented over 200,000 male erections and developed products to enhance sexual fitness for both men and women. And you can go again to myfirmtech.com/GoToHealth and enjoy a 15% discount. Doctor, it's been great having you on. I look forward to staying in touch. And I hope this, feel free to come back and talk about more developments as they come. And we can really help people enjoy their lives more. And that's what we're here for.
Thanks so much.
Good. This has been Jonathan Marks with GoToHealth. Remember, you can subscribe to us so you don't miss any of our shows. They're fantastic. We've got over 300 of them now. And you can watch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or other podcast networks. And you can also visit us and subscribe at GoToHealthMedia.com. And if you like what we're doing, please give us a 5-star review or a thumbs up wherever you're listening to us. That helps get the word out to more people. Thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it. This has been Jonathan Marks with GoToHealth. And as we say at the end of every show, go to health. God bless. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in today to Go to Health. You are one of almost 10,000 people per day who enjoy the evidence-based health information offered by our guest health experts. You can watch us on our website and YouTube and listen to us on 8 podcast networks. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks in our upcoming shows each week. If you like our show, please share this episode with your friends and colleagues. You can subscribe to the show, join our email list, send us feedback, browse through the online store, and view our library of over 150 shows at GoToHealthMedia.com. See you next time, and remember to elevate your life with Go to Health.